What's up, guys? It is Sunday, February 2nd, 2025. It's the second half of today's podcast, MMAOB Daily Podcast, featuring your host, as always, Adam Martin, Big Marcel. We're going to preview UFC 312. If you missed it, we just recapped UFC Saudi Arabia. It was a fun podcast. 8 o'clock in the dot, Marcel. Perfect time to get this podcast started. So we're here with you guys. We're going to talk about this card. We're going to break down all the fights, and I'm looking forward to talking about this card with you, even though, let's be honest, it's not the best card. It really isn't. But I still look forward to doing the podcast, Marcel. Go to the chat. What's up, Antoine? Glad to have you here, man. Yeah, I mean, it's again, that trade's still blowing my mind. After we do this, I'll probably go read about more of the news and stuff from it. Marcel, have you ever watched Netherlands national team in Eurobasket?
No, but we won gold medal with three against three basketball in the Olympics. But
new sport,
yeah, bro, I don't even know if we legit have a basketball team. That's how much I know about it. I don't even know if I see basketball, it's NBA. You know?
Yeah, NBA. I mean, it's a great sport, but yeah, I know what you're saying. Knox, what's up, man? Yeah, we're going to talk about the co-main event. Looking forward to it. All right, let's not waste any time, guys. Let's just get into the fights. I always ask you this, Marcel. Your overall thoughts on this card. What do you think of it going into it?
Yeah, I mean, we gotta be honest here. You know, I don't mind watching it, but it's like super lackluster for pay-per-view, to be really honest. You know, it's like almost like on paper, the card last week was better than this one. But at the same time, I think last week I gave it probably a 5, that card from last week.
Yeah, we forgot to give our rating, and we talked about that after. I completely forgot to ask. Sorry, guys.
Great bridge, Adam.
I'd probably say 6 out of 10, you know, than the last card.
Adam always wants to be 1 point higher than me. So
I do, but you know what? Maybe 5.5. It wasn't great. It really wasn't. You know.
Right.
I actually, I'll go 6 because I picked Imavov right. I think if you picked Imavov, you might have won 6.
That was actually it almost saved it, because if Imavov didn't do that, I would give it probably a 4. So
if he just point fighted his way to a win, it would have been awful. Tristan, what's up? Yeah, I mean, I am worried. Are you, Marcel?
No, we have enough other champions, but yeah, obviously, I mean,
he fights once a year, fights once every 2 years sometimes.
Maybe she can keep something going if she got the belt. Let's hope. You know, it's like almost more hoping than thinking. But
I can see her being a champ that wins and then fights like once every 15 months potentially. I mean, it's not ideal, but she's a great fighter. So
yeah.
Yes, we do have 2 title fights, but again, I mean,
this feels like
it's like a fight night card with like 2 title fights.
Yeah, an Apex card with 2 title fights. That's how it feels.
An Apex in Australia, something like that. Because again, most of these fighters are from that part of the country or part of the world, I should say. A lot of Asian fighters, Australian fighters. Yeah. All right, let's get into the card, Marcel. Why delay? Let's go through it, guys. Marcel has the boater. I'm using most of the UFC stats, but they do have some of the fights. I think they have everything listed. 1, 2, 3, 4. They have everything listed, I think. They're missing a fight here for some reason. What fight are they missing?
Topuria against Thicknesse, maybe.
They have that on there.
Rongzhu against Steele, probably. Oh, Steele against Rongzhu, yeah.
Yeah, they don't have that listed, but Marcel's saying it's
100% happening.
Yeah, there you go. All right, let's get through the card, guys. Let's start with the first fight.
Unless somebody trips over a cable tonight, you know, but it's happening for now.
First fight in the card, Kyung Sung Park against Nyamjargal Tumendemberel. That name is easy now, isn't it, Marcel? It's easy.
Nyamjargal Tumendemberel, yeah.
Marcel loves it. All right, odds for this one, guys. Minus 218 on Park, plus 180 on Tumendemberel. I'll let you start.
Yeah, I mean, Park is one of these guys I think look really good coming off the road to UFC season. You know, got 2 wins, got both finishes. You know, then he also got the finish in the final. Actually, that was on the UFC card. That was that Lewis against Spivak card, I think. That really annoying early card for you guys, probably late at night. Yeah. And yeah, he got the win over Shannon Ross, but Shannon Ross is like, I don't want to shit on the fighter, but he's not really UFC caliber, I think. Park was supposed to return last year against Andre Lima, pulled out of the fight, unfortunately, with a knee injury. Now he's back. He had a pretty bad knee injury, man. He hasn't fought since December 2023. Tumendemberel, he fought Carlos Hernandez last time, lost a split decision. I thought that was a close fight and could have gone both ways, to be honest. Had also a very good win on road to UFC. He fought twice on road to UFC, got a very good win against Peter Denisu by rear naked choke. I have more. I think Park has more upside, man. He's more proven, in my opinion. You know, I think it's nasty for Tumendemberel to go 0-2 in the UFC. I think he's actually too good for that to go 0-2. But Park is a very difficult opponent, so I have to go with Park here, man. Going with Park, I think Park wins by decision.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's like Tumendemberel's coming back after 3 months, and Park's been off for over a year. So it's interesting. You have a guy with a quick return and a guy who hasn't fought in forever. I'm still going to go with Park too. I think he's got higher upside, like you said, Marcel. I think that's fair. I mean, he looked good in the UFC. Like again, the Shannon Ross win, I'm not really sure what to think about that anymore because that guy he's just not UFC caliber, like you said. But he looked good on the show. Obviously, you know, looking at his stats, he dropped a couple times, but again, always overcame it. And that third round submission win was a nice comeback, and then obviously beating Ross. I'm not saying run to the bank and bet all your money on this guy at -218, but I think he wins. I like Tumendemberel. I think he's decent. I think the first fight against Hernandez was not a bad loss because Hernandez is not a bad fighter, honestly. Like he's a decent flyweight, you know, not great but decent.
Hernandez was done with losing to all the Asians.
They always give him hard like prospects. It's
yeah.
tough, right? I think this guy's okay. And again, the funny thing is they call him the Arnauco, but he's more of like a ground guy. It's so weird. I'll take Park. I'll take him to win a decision. Is that fair? Decision?
Yeah.
I think he finishes by you think he finishes?
No, decision.
I think Tumendemberel's pretty tough. We'll see. But yeah. I want to answer his question. Park to be Cody Steele. I think he might be half Asian, maybe. Is he?
He looks Asian, but if he is,
I'm not 100% sure. But he could be potentially. I'm not 100% sure though. Maybe check his Instagram or something. I don't know. Is the plan still to run with no backups for the 2 title fights?
Isn't Barrio backup?
I don't think so. Damon Martin tweeted there's no backups.
Oh, okay.
You know, Damon from MMAfighting.com.
That's actually crazy because
I know
if that fight between Strickland and DDP falls through, dude, it
just almost happened in 311. Like we almost lost the title fight. So.
Yeah, but that fight could happen. That wasn't that bad because there was still some real high ass quality fights on that card.
We don't have any middleweight fights in this card.
Yeah.
I don't think, right? We don't have besides the main event. We don't have any other middleweights. No. Maybe, I don't agree with it. They got to pay a guy to train just in case. And Bahia was the guy that needs that. All right, let's go. Kyle said he'll be there. All right, well, we'll see. But yeah, I think they should get paid a little bit of money. All right, let's go to the next fight.
It looks like Sean Strickland has hijacked Blake's account.
Oh yeah, that sounds like Sean. All right, let's go to the next fight here, guys. We have. I feel like this is a mismatch. Quillan Salkilld against Anshul Jubli, and the odds for this one have a huge favorite here. Quillan -550, Jubli +410. I mean, to me, Marcel, this is actually probably the easiest fight in the card to pick. I'm taking Quillan Salkilld all the way. I think he wins this fight anywhere he wants. Most likely, I think he gets takedowns. He had 9 against Gage Young. It was actually a pretty good fight, by the way. I think Gage Young will get another shot, a contender this year. I hope. I think he's a decent prospect. The Jubli guy, man, you can't trust him anymore, right? Like, I don't think you can. Losing to Mike Breeden the way he did was just so bad. Mike Breeden's not like in the UFC anymore. I guess the Saragi win looks okay now because Saragi has had some wins in the UFC against Lucas Alexander. But yeah, I mean, I just think he's not as good, and I think Salkilld just probably takes him down, beats him up more. So I mean, he might get a finish, maybe, but even if not, he just dominates the fight. He's a big favorite. I think he deserves it. I think he's probably the easiest pick in the card. I think he wins this fight coming away. What do you think?
Remember, I wasn't really impressed with Salkild's performance on Dana White Contender Series. What he won, you know, and now he gets Jubli. We know probably if he barks early, he can beat him. I mean, by the way, people have trouble with Nyamjargal Tumendemberel. Quillan Salkilld name is much more difficult to spell.
I had a little trouble just now. I'm not going to lie.
Do you know how much fucking time I had to backspace to write Salkild's name?
It's hard to write out, right? Because like, you think there's extra I's and stuff in it, right?
Yeah, but also like you think the first L's are double L's, but the second L is double L, you know? So Salkilld, it's super difficult, Andy, actually. Yeah, for me, this is almost a lock on the card for me as well. You know, I'm going with Salkilld because I'm really fading Anshul Jubli pretty hard, to be really honest. So,
I agree.
I'm nothing personal against the dude at all, you know. He tries his best, but I'm just not impressed. And man, it's actually crazy that Mike Breeden, who got his first win in the UFC against Jubli, got cut after that fight.
Well, that's Tristan's asked, or not Tristan, sorry, Antoine asked, and Tristan, yeah, I mean, he missed weight, right?
That was that's true. Yeah.
It was a nasty comeback though, nice finish, but yeah. Let's go to the next fight here, guys. Next one.
My finish, by the way, I go with Salkilld.
All right, let's go to the next fight. Cody Steele against Rongzhu. He's not listed on UFC stats, but I trust Marcel is reporting here.
You better.
Odds for this one, Cody's a favorite. Mine's 245, Rongzhu plus 200. Rongzhu's not too bad. I mean, we saw him fight Rosas, right? And actually gave him, I would say, an okay. Remember, Marcel? Like, it was kind of, at some point, sketchy, right?
Rosas?
Wasn't it? Or what am I talking about? Sorry. I got... My bad, guys. Padilla. I don't know why I said Rosas. Who was I thinking about? Who was I thinking about? God. Guy who fought Rosas at, I don't know, guys. Sorry, I got him confused there for a second. I misspoke.
No.
My apologies.
Who did Rosas fight? But you mean in the UFC Mexico City or the UFC
yes,
Noche
card? Who did I confuse?
Who did he fought again in the first fight?
Arichi Lang. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, Arichi Lang, yeah.
Sorry. My bad. I don't know why I said that. My bad.
No problem.
Okay, that's my bad. Forget I said that. They're going to make some mistakes. My bad.
No problem, dude. It happens.
Yeah. No, I was going to say Padilla. Like, he did okay in that fight. Like, and then obviously ended up losing. But he had the first run in the UFC where he missed weight a couple times, but he had a nice win over Brandon Jenkins. He lost as a huge favorite against Rodrigo Vargas, which at the time was a big upset, I would say. I remember I bet on him, and I'm like, fuck, this guy's not good. But, the Jenkins win was okay, missed weight. The bottom line is you're going to lose to. Then he goes out, gets the win in UAE, gets the wins on road to UFC, comes back to UFC, fights Chris Padilla, who is pretty good, I think. Chris Padilla, again, loses as a big favorite, so he's lost as a big favorite a couple times. Now he's a big underdog. So it's just something to keep in mind that, like, the odds are, he's kind of like lost the odds and also beaten them sometimes. It's weird with this guy. I don't think he's terrible. Again, he's fought in the UFC twice now. At the same time, though, I like Cody Steele quite a bit, Marcel. Undefeated prospect, amazing knockout against Chasen Blair on Contender, body shot knockout, looked great in all those other fights in Fury. I'm really high in this guy. I think it could be a harder fight for him than people think, though. I think Rongzhu obviously will have experience now. He's, for the most part, pretty durable, I would say. He's only been knocked out once. I don't think he gets submitted here. I could see it being kind of a war, to be honest with you, but I still think Cody Steele probably ends up winning this fight. I'll take Steele. I think either decision, maybe a knockout, but I like Steele in this fight. I just don't think Rongzhu's a scrub. I think he's okay. What do you think?
So I'm still a little bit mad about Rongzhu because of his loss to Vargas. I didn't have the fully correct UFC 261 card. I had all right picks, only that one not. He came back. He didn't look that bad to do it against Padilla, but he got that huge thing on his eye, and then the fight got stopped. I'm on Steele here. I think Steele is good. I think he's a great talent. I really liked in Contender Series, and he was supposed to fight that Kamel Otoni guy first, the guy who beat Alex Pereira, right? But he pulled out, and then he didn't have a fight, and they rebooked him against Chasen Blair. And Chasen did pretty good, man, but Steele still got the win, finish. For me, Cody, I also go with a finish for Cody Steele, man. I think he finishes him late in the fight.
Yeah, no, I agree. And again, I apologize for misspeaking there. I mean, it was a big, it's a big gap in experience. I don't think this guy's a complete scrub, Rongzhu. I think he's okay, Marcel. It's just weird. Like, when he's the favorite, he loses. When he's the underdog, he wins. It's weird with this guy. So, Craig, what's up, man? Glad to have you here. Dana, what's up, man? Glad to have you here, dude. Yes, I remember that now. Yeah. And Chris Padilla is not bad. And I'm with Tristan. This is what I was thinking. Like, he looked okay. Like, he looked, decent, but ended up losing. I like Steele. I think he wins. I think it's the job done. So, we'll see what happens. All right, let's go to the next fight here, guys. We got Kevin Jousset taking on Jonathan Micallef. Odds for this one. Jousset minus 245, plus 200 Micallef. Actually, the same odds as the last fight. I'll let you start.
You're such a punk that you let me start. You got Kevin Jousset. I mean, he was on a nice run, I think. He had a good win over Kiefer Crosby. He easily beat Kenan Song, I think, But the Brian Battle one, it was he he completely faded in that second round, and Battle finished the fight. That was good by Battle. If you look at Micallef, got the win over Mohamed Adu, who is I think part Canadian or lives in Canada. Got that triangle choke in the first round. For me, this is normally, listen, if I didn't have seen Jousset against Battle, I'd probably easily pick Jousset here.
Yeah.
But, man, I mean, Micallef, I like the guy. Still going with Jousset, man. I think Jousset should be able to win this fight. I'm picking Jousset by decision. I think he keeps it. How do you say that? Keeps it safe. This one, he doesn't do anything weird. Because if he does anything weird, he's 2-2. And what is the UFC gonna do? Does he re-sign him or not? They probably will. I think they will, even if he loses a second time, because he's fun to watch. I think, but I'm going Jousset decision. But I'm not convinced. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I think Micallef's okay. I mean, he did, like you said, Mohamed Adu, that's the guy he beat, the Canadian guy. And if I'm not mistaken, he actually just lost his last fight.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and unified, right? So, I mean, it's not as good of a win as it looked a few months ago, I guess. This guy's okay. I'll say this. I'm not betting on this fight. I think this guy has a chance to win, Micallef. I'll say that. Are you convinced on Jousset?
No.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's a slight lean. The odds seem high. Just like the last fight, I think they're, maybe a little bit touch high. It's the same odds, which is interesting. I mean, again, I'm going to pick Jousset. The reason is, Marcel, more UFC experience. I'm more proven, I think, if the fight goes long. I would think he probably has the edge. But these odds are a little bit high for me. And I wouldn't, recommend, picking him. Or betting on him, I should say. I think I'll pick him. I think that's the right pick. But, if you take a shot on Micallef, I don't think it's the worst dog. I don't think he's the worst dog in the card. I think it's possible. So,
yeah.
What's Cody stealing? I think he's decent. I don't know how good it is. We'll see in this fight. We'll see, because he looked great in contender. But Rongzhu's not bad, guys. I don't think he's a terrible fighter.
I also don't think he's bad.
Jousset needs to move his head. Yeah, I mean, he didn't against Brian Battle. He also kind of got tired against Brian Battle, if I'm not mistaken. Brian's good. Brian's a good fighter, although he missed weight against
Randy Brown.
Yeah, I agree, Tristan. It's a little high. Yes. It's weird, Blake, right? Are they trying to get these guys to lose or something? It's kind of odd. It's a little odd. Well, actually, no, Salkilld, is he from New Zealand? I guess he's New Zealand.
I think so. Hearing the name.
Yeah, it's a little odd that I guess they haven't listed as Australia. Double check. Yeah, they haven't. Oh, I guess no. Quillan's the favorite too. They said he's Australian.
He says on the main card or not? Or
on
the card? Oh. No, my bad. On the card.
Yeah. No, it's just. I guess there's two, Blake. But yeah, I know what you're saying. All right, didn't mean to correct Blake. I love Blake, but yeah, want to get that right. All right, here's another fight with an Aussie guy against foreigner Aleksandre Topuria, Marcel, taking on Colby Thicknesse. Interesting about this fight. You'll have Ilya in Aleksandre's corner, and you'll have Volkanovski in the corner of Colby Thicknesse, who's taking this fight at short notice, Marcel, and filling in for – who was he filling in for again? Who was it? Cody Haddon. Cody Haddon. Who actually I think is a good prospect too.
Yeah, I agree.
Interesting. Actually, that was a way harder fight, personally. I don't know what you, but –
I would have picked Haddon.
Yeah, and I think I'm not mistaken, he was the favorite. I'm mistaken. The odds are completely different for this. Topuria is minus 425, so he's one. I think he's the second biggest favorite, or third biggest actually.
Yeah.
There's another fight, women's fight, which will come next. She's actually the big. Yeah, Topuria is a pretty big favorite, and plus 330 on Thicknesse. I think Topuria wins. I think, and that's what I'm saying. I think. I'm not 100% confident, guys. I was going to pick Haddon, and I actually felt pretty good against Cody Haddon because I actually like Cody Haddon. I think he's very good. I don't know how good Topuria is. I really don't. I don't know about you. I don't know how good he is. Go ahead.
The problem is he has been looking good in his fights, but the thing is, the how do you say that? The competition isn't great. You know what I mean? So, and the same is actually for Colby Thicknesse. By the way, that should be he can go to porn if the MMA career doesn't work out. Colby Thicknesse. I was like, what the hell?
His name is amazing, right?
Man, when I say I'm going to be honest, I didn't know him. So when the fight, when I saw him, I was like, is this a nickname?
I thought so too. I'm like, oh, that's a great nickname, and then I'm like, oh shit, this is actually his last name. Amazing. If your name was like Marcel Thicknesse, you'd be a porn star.
Marcel Thicknesse, yeah, that would be a little bit too much, I think, man. But yeah, I'm picking Topuria here, but it's like almost like a gamble because I think both guys haven't. I think he's a Hex Series fight champion.
Yeah.
Thicknesse is, but hasn't fought great opponents either. So I mean, I'm going with Topuria. What I've seen on the internet, obviously, but
Yeah. I'm with you. I mean, I think you have the same read as me. I see you guys, Antoine's comment. I see you guys aren't feeling the card. Guys like Micallef can make their name. Fair enough. It's okay, Blake. I already confused two fighters earlier, so we're on the same page today, man. It's all good. Flip a coin, Thicknesse, bad striking. We have no idea what Topuria is. I kind of agree. I wouldn't really bet on him either on Topuria minus 425. Like I would pass. There's a few fights in this early prelims. I'm like, I just want anything to do with these guys, All right, let's go to the next fight here. I'm actually looking forward to hearing your thoughts on this fight. So we got Wang Tong taking on Bruna, Brazil, and I think that is the right pronunciation, right, Marcel?
Wang Tong.
There you go. And she's the biggest favorite in the card. She is minus 485 for the Joker, plus 370 for Bruna, Brazil. I mean, these odds are kind of high, aren't they not? Like, it feels like it coming off like a big upset loss. Like, what could go wrong, right? What could go wrong? And Brazil's coming off a huge upset win over Molly McCann, where she looked really good, and obviously went to the Fighting Nerds, Marcel, and had a great performance. I'm picking Wang Tong, obviously. Like, I still believe in her. I think she's a very good striker. She got caught. Dropped, and then submitted. It happens. But she was lighting up Fernandez before that. I'm not going to completely write this girl off. I mean, she obviously beat Valentina in kickboxing. She's good. Bruna, Brazil, I've never been high on her, Marcel. I don't think she's great. But she did prove me wrong against Molly McCann. It was a really good performance, I thought. And so much so they had to find someone, Marcel, that was 0-4 to fight Molly now to get her an easy win. So I'll take Wang Tong. I'll take her by decision. But again, it's one of these ones where I feel like the odds are a little elevated. And coming off a win or a loss where she was at minus 800 and lost, I don't really want anything to do with it. There's other fights in this card with more proven fighters that I like more. So Wang Tong decision. I don't love the odds. What are you gonna say?
Funny thing is, I think Estella has a legit chance against Molly McCann. But good, even when she's 0-4.
Oh, Estella Nunes? Yeah.
So yeah, I'm also with Wang Tong here. The thing is, like, I would have been maybe more on Bruna's side if this wasn't to be on 125, because normally Bruna is fighting at 115. She's now going to 125. By the way, do you know that picture of Bruna with her girlfriend and Gilbert Burns? And then she posted.
Wait, who's her girlfriend again? She's in the UFC, right?
No, she's on the UFC, I think. No,
that's that girl. That's the coach. That girl. Yeah.
Yeah, with her girlfriend and Gilbert Burns, and then she posted with the three lesbians. She said, "Crazy."
I was gonna say you had some different pictures, but Gilbert's married with kids, so I don't think he's like that.
Yeah. So, yeah,
I know who you're talking about now. It's like her coach, that chick that she's with. Yeah.
I'm going with Wang Tong. I also think she gets a finish. So I'm going.
Oh, you think she finishes her? Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I think.
Yeah, I mean, Bruno did get knocked out by Denise Gomes, who's comparable, I would say, with the power. So fair enough. Yeah. Again, do you love the odds though? It's like almost minus 500.
It's a little bit too steep for me, but yeah.
All right, fair enough. All right, let's go to the comments. If Ilya kills in the first round, does he get a ranked opponent? Based on hype and nepotism, that's hilarious, Antoine. Maybe, but I don't know, man. There's so many fighters at bantamweight, right? Like,
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Thicknesse and lean crossover. Oh man, that sounds good.
Jeez.
OnlyFans idea. There you go.
That sounds good. He said.
I'm just joking. Fight Talk. What's up, man? Yeah, we'll talk about her in a few minutes, brother. I bet you this card's going to be better Saudi Arabia. You know what? You're probably right because that card wasn't very good. Tristan loves Bruna even though she doesn't like guys. She's not into guys. But Tristan loves her all the same. I can see the corners going at each other. Yeah, that's possible. Some of the last fight. Marcel the Thicknesse. If you want Marcel to start OnlyFans, then say it. So it sounds good to me. Yeah, Dana. I mean, like, it's too sketch. But here's the thing. And a lot of you guys are obviously in the Discord. She's probably going to be like most people's pick in the confidence pool, like number one, I would think, right? She'll probably be number one. Imagine she loses again. That'd be crazy. I think so too. I think Bruna's gotten better. She's looked good too. I'm with you guys. So Vadim's not a free agent. I talked to Ian Parker at PFL, and he's got 2 more fights left. Marcel, did you know that?
Okay. No, but thanks for the information.
Yeah, because Nolan King did an interview and he said, "Oh yeah, I'm a free agent." But if you look at the article on MMA Junkie, Nolan updated the article and said, since we did the interview, I found out that it says like we have more information. He's not a free agent. So this guy's out there saying, "I'm a free agent going to UFC. I want to go to UFC," but he's not actually a free agent, Marcel. So he wants out of PFL, obviously, but
everybody wants. Yeah,
most people do. It seems like, right? They want to go to GFL or UFC. All right, let's go to the next fight here. We got Tom Nolan against Viacheslav Borshchev. Is that good? That's pretty good. Right?
I think it's Viacheslav, but
Viacheslav.
yeah.
I thought it was Viacheslav. Anyways, Borshchev. I'll just say that. I know his last name is pronounced that way. So this is an interesting fight. It should be a really fun fight. I think it's a strikers fight. Minus 155 Borshchev, Slava Claus, Tom Nolan plus 130. Marcel, I'll let you start on this one. What do you think, man?
So starting with Tom Nolan, man, I think he's fun to watch, but he has trouble in every single fight he fights. He got that good win over Bogdan Grad. Then he fought Mata, got knocked out. He got pretty cocky in that fight. He got knocked out, Against Martinez, he got tagged again, but then he knocked Martinez out. And against Reyes, he got tagged as well, and he got him with decision. And I was like, I think he was a pretty big favorite going into that fight. He was a massive favorite. Yeah. And he couldn't put him away. I don't think that was a great showing, to be honest.
Yeah.
If you look at Viacheslav Borshchev, he only really struggles when he fights grapplers. He struggled against Diakese, who grappled with him. He struggled against Davis, who grappled with him, and he struggled against Hooper, who knocked him actually down.
Case Hooper beat the shit out of him, dude.
Yeah, but against James Jean Top, or James Jean Top, I should say.
Who's not in the UFC anymore, by the way. He's got
he won a split decision, which was close, could have gone the other way. But that was a lot of standing, it was almost everything standing. So if he keeps it standing, and Tom Nolan is also a guy who prefers to keep it standing overall, I don't think he has any submission wins in his career, at least not his professional career. I'm going with Borshchev, man. I think he's a better striker overall. He's sometimes a little bit chinny, but so is Tom Nolan. So I'm going with Viacheslav Borshchev, and I think he can even finish him. So I'm going with Borshchev by a TKO.
I like this fight. I don't think it goes 3 rounds. I think someone gets knocked out. I'm pretty confident in that. I mean, Tom Nolan's, like you said, he's been a big favorite. Now he's all of a sudden an underdog, even though he's been a big favorite in his other fights. It's just hard to trust this guy, man. It really is. His chin is questionable, I would think, and bad striking defense. But there's, a lot to like. Big power. He's huge for this division.
Younger.
He is younger. I don't want to completely write him off. I think he's got a chance to win this fight too. At the same time, though, I do think Borshchev is a very good striker. But again, the durability is concerning, man. Like, getting dropped by Chase Hooper is bad. And not only that, but like those rounds were like 10-7 rounds, dude. They were like complete dominance I've ever seen before in the UFC.
Yeah.
And even against Sadikov, he got dropped in that fight too. Although, again, he landed more strikes. It was an amazing fight. Like, this guy's going to put up a good fight. On top, his chin looked a little better. Very good fight. Could have gone either way. Very good fight, though. I just think he's the better striker. That's why I have to pick him. Yeah, that's why I have to pick him too. I think he's the better striker. But his chin is not amazing. So he could get knocked out. It's possible. I don't think this fight goes 3 rounds, Marcel. What do you think? Knockout?
No, I got the stoppage for Slava Claus. Yeah.
Maybe that's the way to bet on him. I mean, he's only a small favorite, but like, I'd be shocked if this fight went 3 rounds, guys, personally. So I'm going with Slava by knockout. By the way, Tristan, I saw what you said. Who are you picking? I want to hear what you said.
Yeah.
But Nemkov Francis, they could do that, by the way. I prefer to get that comment. Nolan's chinny, he is. Nolan gets dropped against everyone. Yes. Nolan will find his full potential at welterweight. Maybe. I mean, maybe he's cutting too much weight because he's 6'3", Marcel. Maybe he's cutting too much weight. It's possible. Other guys have moved up and looked better. Slava's never been knocked out in 70. Yeah, but he's been dropped and hurt. Like, that's the concern, right? So, again, Chase Hooper dropping, is that a sign of his chin going? Maybe he's got surprised and dropped, right? Like, no one thought that would happen.
I think Chase Hooper has leveled up, man, to be really honest.
Chase Hooper's just really good now. Maybe that's what it is, right? Yeah, I agree. I mean, Blake, you're not wrong, but again, he got caught hard, bro. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next fight here, guys. We got this is the final prelim. Another fun fight.
I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, this is a fun fight. Gabriel Santos, who's one of Marcel's favorites and my favorite. One of our favorites on the podcast, I should say. A guy that was 0-2 for a while, Marcel. We were like, best 0-2 fighter in the UFC.
Yeah, he was.
Taking on Jack Jenkins from Australia. And I want to get your thoughts on this fight. So minus 238 for Santos. Jack Jenkins plus 195. So decent sized underdog here on Jack Jenkins. What do you think about this fight, man?
I understand it looks weird, but I fully agree with this one. You know,
Okay.
with the odds. You know, Jack Jenkins, he's a fun fighter to watch. I think his leg kicks are lethal. You know, we all know that. He got a good win over Herbert Burns last time, but Herbert Burns kind of gives up in almost every fight he fights.
Sure.
Nothing against Herbert. I like Herbert, but it's just true. If you look at the Shepard fight, yeah, he got to see. I think he got a broken arm or something after a slam.
Yeah.
So. To be honest, the Jamal Amers fight he fought, I don't think he won that fight. You know, he got the win, but in my opinion, he didn't win that fight. Don Shayness, yeah, okay, good win. If you look at Gabriel Santos, actually, he was the LFA champion. He got signed on short notice to the UFC, fought Lerone Murphy in London. I think he beat Lerone Murphy, to be really honest. You know, he lost a split decision. I think he beat him. He fought David Onama after that. Looked amazing in the fight, then gets knocked out. You know, so then he's the best 0-2 fighter in UFC. Recently, like last year, won against Yiza, a unanimous decision. Great win by him, by the way. Nice fighting Jack Jenkins. I really have high ceiling for the guy, man. I really like him. I think he's a great fighter. The thing is, like, he got caught against Onama, although I think he listen, look how good Onama is doing now, you know? And I think he fought better fight than Onama. Only Onama knocked him out. And I know it's a big thing to get knocked out, obviously. You cannot win if you get knocked out. But he has looked great in the UFC so far. I'm picking him, man. I know Jenkins is fighting at home, but I have more confidence in Gabriel Santos. I think he's a great fighter. I'm really big on Gabriel Santos. I'm picking him by decision, not by... And I hope it doesn't get to a split decision like Jamal Amers last time, but I'm picking Santos by decision.
All right, hit the button for me then. Let's go.
Okay.
I'm finally taking a dog here. I like Jack Jenkins in this fight. So I actually thought this would be one of the fights that we would agree on, to be honest with you, Marcel. But I totally understand why you're going against Santos. Listen, we love this guy for a while on the show. I like the guy. He's a good fighter, well-rounded, dangerous everywhere. I like him. But I think Jack Jenkins is being completely undervalued here. Like, he's basically a 2-1 underdog. I don't really get it. I mean, I think he's a very good fighter. You know, great striking. He's pretty good takedown defense. Not the best, but pretty good. And I think he has the better cardio, too. That's where I think he has an edge here. Plus, hometown, the fans are going to be cheering for him. I think if the fight goes the distance, like, the judges would be more favorable for him if it does go 3 rounds. And we have already seen Santos get, I would say, probably maybe robbed against Murphy, potentially. Marcel, I don't know if it was a robbery, but it was, you know, I think we won that fight, right? Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I mean, I feel like it's going to be a good fight. It could be a fight of the night, potentially. I think it's going to be mostly stand-up. I mean, I think Santos to win has to get takedowns. I don't think on the feet he's going to have a ton of success. I think Jenkins is the better striker. I think he's got those nasty calf kicks. He has some power in his hands. But the kicks, I think, are the big difference here. It's a great fight. Love this fight. Could be fight of the night. But basically plus 200. I'm definitely taking Jack Jenkins, man. I think he wins the decision. So, or maybe a late knockout potentially as well. But I like Jenkins. I thought we'd be on the same page. Totally understand why you're not, because I like Santos too. But I'm taking a shot on the dog, man. Have to. Got to take a shot on the dog. There you go.
I'm kind of disappointed that nobody in the comments say who they are picking, man.
Yeah, what do you guys think about this one? I was just going to look. I just looked right now. Mr. Nice Guy's here. Mr. Nice Guy's here. What's up, man? Glad to have you here, brother. Up, man? Always appreciate your presence. Yeah, Tristan, you want to bet on Slava? I mean, I'm picking him. So is Marcel. Not 100% sure, but I think he probably wins. Speaking of Don Shane, he fought for the Cage Titans belt and got knocked out by a guy that might get a shot on Contender Series, I would say. But yeah, if anyone wants to give their thoughts on this fight, I'll read your comments in the chat, no problem. But like I said, I thought we'd have maybe a consensus dog on this. I know for a fact we have one more consensus dog, I would think. But
yeah, for sure.
It's not this fight. All right, let's go to the main card, guys. We got Jake Matthews kicking it off at home against Francisco Prado. Odds for this one, Jake Matthews is minus 218, Prado plus 180. What do you think of this one, man?
So, yeah, I mean, fun fight. Prado came in the UFC, had a really lackluster debut against Malarkey. He got held on the whole fight. Then he got a great win over Azaitar, knockout. And the last fight, he lost, but it was fun. A fun fight against Daniel Zellhuber, you know. Now he's going up in weight. He's fighting Jake Matthews. And Matthews is up and on. Sometimes he looks good. Sometimes he looks really bad, you know. He had that great win over Andre Fiallo, but Andre is not in the UFC anymore. Got more losses. I think, to be really honest, man, Jake Matthews, I always thought he's decent, and I always saw him as a talent, but he never fulfilled that step from talent to next level. I still think he's there, but he's not a talent anymore. He's already older, He came in the UFC when he was really young. If you look at Prado is still very young. I only think he's 22 or 23. I like him a lot. I think he's a fun fighter. So, picking him as the underdog here, Prado. I think he can get a stoppage, but I'm going with the decision.
I mean, stop me. I've said this already a few times, but it's another fight where I slightly favor the favorite, which is Jake Matthews, but not enough to bet on, basically. You know what I mean, Marcel? For me, there's a few reasons I like him here. It's just way more proven in the UFC, way more experience. And I think, again, the size is interesting because this guy's going up. Jake Matthews is he's not an amazing grappler, but he's okay at it. And I think he can mix some takedowns in here. I think that's a good path because I think on the feet, he could be in trouble. We've seen him get hurt before. Prado's got decent striking. There's obviously Prado's a lot younger. There's a lot to like about Prado. I totally get where you're picking him, by the way. I was kind of on the fence about this one. But I'm just going to go with Matthews due to experience, being, I think, a bit bigger, and I think having the grappling edge in this fight. So that's why I'm taking Jake Matthews. I think you win decision. To me, this is a type of fight should be on the prelims. This should never be opening a main card in the pay-per-view for $80 or whatever they charge on Marcel. Right? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Is the chair guy Wade the Glover? I don't think he is, actually. He's not, right?
No.
A couple guys are picking Santos, by the way. So there you go. I think it's a banger. It could be, but I think Jake might make it boring and try to take him down. I think that's the best way for him to win this fight, personally. So let's go to the next fight. Marcel, we got Jimmy Crute making his return to the UFC against Rodolfo Bellato. Odds for this one are interesting as well. Bellato is the favorite, minus 170. Jimmy Crute, plus 142. What do you think about this one?
You go first this time.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've always liked Crute, but I mean, I was fading him at the end of his last run before he took the layoff. I remember when he fought Lonzo Menefield, actually his last fight in Vegas. Me and my friend were there. The funny thing is we bumped into Lonzo Menefield, the New York hotel. And me and my buddy were it wasn't me. My friend said, he's like, dude, I'm putting money on you, right? Because I didn't want to say that because I'm covering the fight. I didn't want to tell him that, but I'm I liked Alonzo, who's the underdog in that fight. They had fought before. Mm-hmm. I think Jim had some early success, and then Alonzo came back late, if I'm not mistaken. But
yeah, there was a cage grab, a point deduction, I think, right?
Yeah, it was a good fight too. I think it was a really good fight. But again, I was surprised he was dog, and then he got submitted. That was just he's 1-3 in his last 4 fights. So, or sorry, excuse me, he's 0-3-1. Actually, it's a draw. So, I think Crute had a really nice start to his career in the UFC. I was very high on him, but these last few years have been rough, and he hasn't fought in 2 years now. Bellato hasn't fought actually in a while too, Marcel, in a year and a half. About actually not a year and a half. It's like 14 months, I should say. I shouldn't say a year and a half, but it's getting up there. But yeah, I mean, he had the one fight with Ihor where, Ihor hurt him early. Ihor dropped him. Ihor was beating him up, and then Ihor gassed and he beat him up. It was actually an amazing fight. That was a card in the Austin where they gave 10 bonuses out. Remember that card? That was where the slam knockouts happened, Marcel, with Cody Brundage and was it Joe Selecki? Jakar close against Joe Selecki, yeah. Bellato's got a lot of power. Bellato, I think he's a flawed fighter, man. We've seen him get knocked out. We've seen him get dropped. I wouldn't bet on him. I'm not going to bet on this guy either. I've said that 10 times on this card already, but I think again, there's some tricky fights in this card, guys. There are. This is good matchmaking because it's kind of a tricky one because you got a guy that's, looking okay at times, but also flawed against a guy who's looked good in the past, but looked terrible lately, hasn't fought in forever, and he's fighting at home. It's a weird fight, man. I'm taking Bellato. I think he probably knocks Crute out and ends his career in the UFC. I hate to say it, but Crute could win this fight. It's a winnable fight. It's a winnable fight. He could win the fight. He could knock out Bellato. I'm not banking on it. What do you think, man? Doing it? Oh, there you go. You got a dog here, guys.
Yeah, I'm going with Crute, man.
Fair enough.
Listen, man, Bellato is a fun fighter, I think. He's fun to watch, but he gets tagged a lot, and he always comes back. But I'm not convinced. With Crute, I know Crute hasn't been great as of lately, but I think Crute can also mix in the grappling in this fight,
He could.
So that's why I go with Crute. I go with the decision.
He
shoot. Yeah.
No, I think it's an okay pick. I mean, he could win. Absolutely. Again, I've said this about a few of the dogs. There's some fights that are 50-50 on this card, and this is one of them. if I'm not mistaken, the books open blood at like minus 250 or minus 300, way too high. So money's coming on Crute. It makes sense to get the line a little bit more close. I'm still fading the guy that Marcel, who hasn't fought in forever, who hasn't won a fight in forever. So, all right, a couple other comments. Prato's, yeah, I agree with that. He shouldn't be. Got Crute, I think we'll grapple. Okay, there you go. Got a Crute. Local man, what's up? I think Jake definitely goes wrestling, and Prado has shown himself. I agree. I that's why I'm picking him too. So we have the same thought. Nemkov, again, he's not a free agent, guys. So Ian Parker works at PFL. He messaged me. I tweeted about this the other day. Ian messaged me. He's like, he's not a free agent. And then again, I went and checked Nolan's interview because Nolan King interviewed him. And if you read Nolan's interview on MMA Junkie, Marcel, he made a correction saying after we did the interview, I found out he's not actually a free agent. So you can see for yourself. That's all. I would like to see him in the UFC. I'm with you guys. A lot of these guys don't want to fight in PFL. Marcel, for whatever reason. The funny thing is, Marcel, they actually get paid more money to fight worse competition in the PFL, but they want to come to the UFC. It's actually kind of funny when you think about it. Although with this guy, he might have to fight Francis, which is not an easy fight. All right, guys, let's go to the next fight here. We got Marcel's favorite, the unranked heavyweights on the main card, Justin Tafa against Taliesin Teixeira. Odds for this one have Taliesin minus 155, Justin plus 130. I'll start in this one, Marcel. I'm taking Taliesin Teixeira. Really, I mean, it comes down to, I think, the size advantage, and he's so much bigger. I know Justin's like a pretty stocky guy and stout fella, but 6'7", 83-inch reach. So he's got a 7-inch height advantage and a 9-inch reach advantage. Also, he's 6 years younger, undefeated fighter. He's a decent prospect, I think. I mean, I don't think he's amazing. I will see. I think he might be a guy that gets knocked out at some point. Justin's got power. He does. But Justin, I think, is, just very one-dimensional. He's just a puncher, really, for the most part. Although I guess he landed the kick against Harry Hunsucker, but it's not much to say about that. But again, one-dimensional. We see him get knocked out. His wrestling is really bad. I mean, Taliesin actually, if he was smart, he might actually wrestle this fight, I think. But probably keeps the fight standing, stays on the outside with that reach and the height, stays on the outside, picks his shots, and then potentially knocks out Justin Tafa. I'm taking Taliesin Teixeira. I think he wins. What do you think?
I'm just fucking
another dog. Holy shit!
I'm just going for it, dude. I mean, the thing is, for me, Taliesin Teixeira, he looked big, but he's unproven, and he got tagged against that Brazilian John Jones guy he fought in Dana White Contender Series. If Tafa attacks him with that punch, he gets knocked out.
Yeah. What was that guy? Arthur
Jones or Lopez?
Arthur Lopez, yeah. Arthur Jones is John Jones' brother.
Oh, yeah.
Arthur Lopez, but I think he tested positive, too, after the fight, right?
Yeah,
Arthur Lopez?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Because Mick Maynard was like, we might bring this guy in at 205. I remember they talked about that. Remember that? Yeah. Go finish, please. I want to hear your thoughts on this.
And I think Tafa always has a puncher's chance, and obviously Tafa has been knocked out against Jorgen De Castro as well, so I mean, he can get knocked out, but at the same time he can take some punches, so I'm going with the dog here, man. It's a close line, I think, and that probably means that a lot of people are on the fence with this one, I think, because listen, Taliesin Teixeira is undefeated, but his opponents, he hasn't fought any great competition, in my opinion. Doesn't mean anything. Maybe he's next level, and I haven't seen it yet, but yeah, I'm going with Tafa here. I think he can get the knockout, and this definitely will be a knockout, I think, either one,
I just laugh because of this comment. Fun fact, Justin Tafa has been in more pay-per-view fights than Aspinall, Pavlich, and Almeida. Wow. Marcel's a dog hunter today. He likes the underdogs. Tafa spinning kick, imagine that. The high end, sure. We'll see. I mean, he hasn't lost yet, but yeah, I mean, his fight on Contender wasn't like flawless, but he had a nice, at the end of it was a nice knockout face plant. So.
You got to be annoyed if you pick now the undefeated guy again and he loses next
It might happen. Like I said, it's so hard for me to. I always pick them and they always fucking lose, like Peyton Talbot and Narinya Nakamura a few weeks ago. So did you actually. But anyways, all right, let's go to the next fight. And we have the UFC women's strawweight belt in the line between Weili Zhang and Tatiana Suarez. I mean, we've been looking forward to this fight for a while. It's a pick 'em. Wow, it's a pick 'em. Minus 110 each. So I see a little bit of plus money out there on Tatiana. Maybe the line will flip back to Zhang, maybe not. Maybe it flips the other way. Maybe Tatiana closes as a favorite. I don't know. But right now it's a pick 'em. So very, very close fight on the odds. And I want to get your thoughts on this fight, Marcel. Do you want me to start, or do you want to go first?
I can go first if you want.
Yeah, please. Yeah, I want to hear your thoughts.
So yeah, you look at Weili Zhang. Obviously, she has 2 title runs. The only fighter to beat her in the UFC was Rose Namajunas twice.
Which I picked both times. I did.
Yeah. I actually did too, I think. I'm not sure, but I also think I did.
I think the second time you did, yeah. The first time, though, I remember I was like so
I think the first time I was first on Zhang, and then I corrected myself during the week. So, I mean, Zhang Weili, yeah, she's amazing. Let's be honest, she's great.
Yeah,
she,
great.
the only thing is, like, she doesn't fight that often anymore for some reason. She had that fight against Yan Xiaonan, which I thought she choked out Yan Xiaonan in the first round, but the fight didn't get stopped or whatever, and it went to a decision. Yan did pretty well, I think, after that. But yeah, good win for Zhang. She fights Tatiana Suarez now. Tatiana fights even less. She only fought in 2023 2 times, and before that, the last fight was in 2019. So she got some canceled fights. I think she got the John DeRoba fight got canceled because they wanted to make her fight this on this card. The thing is, like, styles make fights, right? So with Zhang, I only see Zhang losing against a specialist, to be real honest. And Tatiana is that specialist on the ground. I think if Tatiana can get Zhang to the ground, she can finish her there, and that's the thing. Overall, if you ask me who's the better fighter overall, I might say Zhang is maybe the better fighter overall. But Tatiana is that dominant with the way she fights. I cannot pick against her. As long as she's undefeated and nobody has proved me wrong, I'm not picking against her. I never picked against her, won't pick against her again. Still, I'm going with Suarez, man. And I think she gets the finish as well. I'm going with a second round submission for Tatiana Suarez.
I think it's fair to hit the button for this because most of the books actually have her plus money, so you can hit the button for that one. The odds might flip for this fight, guys. We'll see what happens by the end of the week. But right now, I would say she's a small underdog. And I have the same pick as you, so you can hit the button for me. This is the one I thought we'd agree on. I thought we would.
I knew as well.
So I thought so too. So with Tatiana, when I saw her in Ultimate Fighter, it was actually in 2016. Can you believe it's been that long? It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Who
did she beat in the final?
She beat in the show. She beat Chelsea Bailey, JJ Aldrich, and Kate Jackson, and she beat Amanda Bobby Cooper, who is Cody Brundage's wife. Right?
Exactly.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, looking back at it, not the best, competition, but at the time, yeah, it was good, but dominant, and you saw the talent, and you saw the ground game, and it was like, wow, this girl's next level. And then, hasn't really fought that much. The crazy thing is, arguably her best win. I mean, well, Andrade in her last fight was great, but arguably, actually, Carla Esparza, which was 7 years ago. Can you believe that? It was that long ago. And she beat the shit out of Carla. You remember that fight, Marcel?
Very one-sided.
Actually, maybe it's Alexa Grasso. Maybe that's the crazy thing. She has wins over 3 former champions, Andrade, Esparza, and Grasso, because she doesn't fight that often. You forget this. Whenever she fights, it's like, for the most part, dominance. I mean, she's looked amazing. Really, the only fight where she struggled, I guess, was the Nina Nunes, the third round of that fight, where oh shit, she got tired, and then she took off 4 years. And she's come back 2-0 with 2 finishes.
Yeah.
She's the best grappler in the division. I really, truly believe that. Yeah. And I've always been a fan of her. I like her a lot. And I think if she stays healthy, she can win the belt. And right now she's healthy. Now she's fighting for the belt. And I don't want to sell Zhang short because she is, like you said, she's an amazing fighter. She really is great. I love watching her fight. She's incredible, and she could win this fight, man. We could look wrong. We could absolutely. For sure. Like, again, the last couple of fights, very, very impressive performances over Yan and Lemos and Esparza. Just impressive, and Joanna too.
For me, this will be massive if Zhang wins this fight because all the other fights I expected her actually to win.
I'm with you on that for sure. But I will say this: the fights with Rose, the head kick one was like whatever, like it happened to anyone. But that second fight. That's the fight where and I know it was 4 years ago and she's improved, but there were holes on the ground in that fight.
Yeah.
And I think Suarez is a better grappler than Rose. And Rose is a good grappler, but I think Rose is good, but I think Suarez is better. But Rose was able to reverse position, have more control time, and won a razor thin split. And I think that Suarez can have some success on the ground here. The more I think about it, like maybe she needs to finish it because she's never been 5 rounds. Like what happens if it goes late? Zhang's way more proven, but I think regardless, decision or maybe a submission. I don't think she knocks her out. Maybe grounded pound, probably not. It would probably be a sub or decision. But regardless, man, I think Suarez is as good as it gets on the ground. I do think she can get this fight to the ground, and I do think she can win the belt. I've been thinking she'd be a champion for almost a decade, dude. Can you believe it's been that long?
Yeah, same.
And she has her chance now, and you know what? It'll be her only chance. I'll say this: if she loses, it could be one of those fights where she just walks away from the sport because she barely fights, and I could see that happening too. But I think she gets the job done. I think she wins the belt, guys. So we have the same pick. Let's see what happens. Let's go through the comments. Remove limit break has Zhang. Who thinks the greatest strawweight of all time? Probably Joanna, but Rose did beat her, and she also beat Zhang. I guess it would be Rose, actually, now that I think about it. Who is it?
For me, it's still Joanna. As crazy as it sounds, because she lost twice to Rose and she lost twice to Zhang. But for me, it's like the dominance, the era of dominance she had. She elevated as well the division, in my opinion. And she was a standard for a long time. She got beat by Rose. The thing is, like, if you say it's Rose, I have no problem with it because Rose beat both girls twice. But then she got it's so difficult,
it's
man.
Weird.
And then Esparza beat Rose twice.
It actually is like men's featherweight with Aldo, Volkanovski, and Holloway, right? Where you have a different opinion based on the dominance versus the head-to-head wins. It's kind of like that, right?
For me, it would be like Joanna, Rose, Zhang Weili, and then we have Esparza probably, and under there maybe Andrade.
Yeah, that's fair. I like that order actually.
For featherweight, I would say Aldo, Volkanovski, Max Holloway, and Ilia Topuria.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I know what you're saying. It's crazy, right? So, for me, longevity is really important.
Yeah. A lot of people are like, he beat that guy or she beat her, so it's immediately above the person. I'm not like that. That means that you put Chris Weidman above Anderson Silva, for example. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And or Izzy, right? Yeah, I know what you're saying. Knox, I've always been high in top 2. I think Zhang wins. Okay, we got a couple of pictures, Zhang. Antoine sucks talking about the injuries. Yeah, I mean, she could have fell for the belt 5 years ago.
Yeah.
People do forget. Verna's fighting Jan, right?
Yeah, she deserved actually the title shot, in my opinion.
I think they're going to give it to Mackenzie Dern, dude. I think that's what's going to happen.
That would be really disrespectful to Verna, I think, if she wins against Jan.
Would you be surprised?
I wouldn't be surprised, but it wouldn't make any sense, in my opinion. I like Mackenzie.
More marketable, dude. More marketable. Yeah, I know what you're saying, Tristan. You don't want an inactive champion. I get it, but
I understand.
I think she wins. Let's go. Yeah, that's the thing. And Esparza beat Rose too. It's fucking weird, right? You got all these fucking head-to-head wins that are different, but yeah, it's weird. Do they run it back if Suarez wins? Maybe. That's another option. I didn't even think about that. And we talk about that the next fight here with the main event. Let's get to it right now. By weight, Marcel, let's get to the main event. Dracus du Plessis taking on Sean Strickland in the rematch. Looking forward to this one, man. Should be a really good fight. I mean, the first fight was fight of the night in Toronto last year. I was there, cage side for that fight. It was,
to be really honest, that wasn't difficult to be fight of the night there on that card. But
it wasn't a great card, but it was actually a good fight. It was solid.
Yeah.
Minus 205 for Dracus. Sean Strickland plus 170 for the rematch. I want to get the odds for the first fight. First fight was a pickup. If I'm not mistaken, Dracus was a slight favorite. So
we both picked Dracus.
Slight dog, I should say. Sorry.
We both picked Dracus.
Yes, we did have him. He was an underdog when we picked him last year, and I was pretty confident he went. So let me start with this one, Marcel. So with the first fight, I was really confident Dracus would win, and it was a good fight. It was a very close fight, very back and forth. There was a lot of strong opinions both ways. A lot of fans were going on Sean Strickland saying he won the fight, he got robbed. The stats had him landing more strikes, so. There's an argument right there, right? Because he landed 173 to 137 to Dracus. Dracus had 6 takedowns. It was like a really close fight, man. I was literally cage side for it. I was like 10 feet away from these guys, Marcel. It was like these razor thin rounds. We had to like look for something small to like give it to a guy. And for me, I thought Dracus ended up winning the fight. I thought he won it. I remember a few other media guys were asking like, "Who do you think won, man?" I'm like, "I thought Dracus won." Like, I'm 100% sure. I wasn't, right? And he won. He won a split.
I had 2, 3, and 4 for Dricus and 1 and 5 for Sean, I think.
Yeah, I can't remember. I honestly can't. I'd have to look at my Twitter and see what I tweeted that night. I can't remember what rounds, but I had it 3-2, so it was close. But a lot of people for Sean. So since that fight, they both fought once. Sean fought Paulo Costa, and it was a split decision, which I think was one of the worst split decisions of all time because he clearly won the fight, right? I mean, that was Marcel. That was garbage, right? Can you say?
Yeah.
And then Dricus obviously beat Izzy. He was. If you look at the scorecards, he actually was winning the fight, but I thought he was losing the fight, to be honest, and then ended up getting the submission. Hurt Izzy, submitted him. It was great. Dricus is great. I think both guys are great. Go ahead.
Izzy was kind of taking over in that fight. That's what I felt. And out of nowhere, Dricus turned it around. Yeah.
I love both guys. I'm a huge fan of both fighters. I know a lot of people don't like Sean Strickland, but I think he's great. I think he's an amazing fighter. I really do.
I got to give you credit, man. You were on Sean Strickland way before everybody else.
I appreciate that, man. Because I really was, dude. I've liked him for a while, man. Mm-hmm. I really liked him for a while. And the crazy thing is, I actually, coming into it, I remember in his UFC debut, he fought Bubba McDaniel. Remember that guy, Bubba McDaniel? Yeah. And I was
Sean is still hair, right?
Yeah. Sean was called Tarzan back then. He doesn't like the nickname anymore. But I remember that fight, and I was like, I'm pretty sure Bubba's going to beat this kid up. Like, he's king of the cage champ. He's nothing great. He destroyed him in that fight. And Bubba, I'm not saying he's great, but he had a lot of experience. And I was like, man, this guy's interesting. And over the years, obviously, at welterweight struggled a little bit, Marcel, and then moved up to middleweight. And since he moved up,
accident.
Yeah, the motorcycle accident took a couple years off. I actually remember we talked about on this podcast, and someone, when he came back and fought Jack Marshman, I remember someone had said, because I'm like, oh, he's going to beat Jack Marshman. And someone was like, man, he hasn't fought in 2 years because of the motorcycle accident. I'm not sure. And he goes and beats Jack Marshman, beats Brendan Allen, beats Jocko, beats Uriah Hall, beats Jack Hermanson. These are all solid wins. Gets knocked out by Pereira. The funny thing is, I think you picked Strickland in that fight, which is crazy.
I did.
And I picked Pereira. And I think we both got Cannonier wrong. I could be wrong. I got Cannonier wrong because I picked Strickland, and I thought Strickland won that fight. Actually, Marcel, I'm not sure.
I was close. Yeah,
it was kind of like the Dracus fight. Actually, it was very close. Imavov, that win.
We picked Strickland.
Yeah, and dude, that win looks really good, doesn't it? It looks good. Abus, that win looks good. Abus has looked good. Izzy, amazing win. Dracus, close fight, guys, close fight, and then Paulo Costa. So it goes from being a pick 'em fight, and now he's like a big underdog here, almost like plus 170, like little odd to me. And then Dracus, I mean, I get it. Again, he's lost before in KSW, but like in I think in EFC Africa, he lost there once. What's that guy? Gareth McClellan? Is that the guy he lost to? I think.
I don't think he lost. Did he lost to him?
I think so. He lost twice in his career. I think that.
I know he lost to Robert Soldich, but
he did in KSW. I think those are.
To McClellan, early in his career, 2014.
Yeah. But 15. I think the other fight was at welterweight, right? The Soldich was that welterweight.
Let me see. The Soldich was at welterweight. Yeah, championship.
That's what I'm saying. So since he's moved up to middleweight, he hasn't lost. He's looked amazing. He's a great fighter, man. What's crazy? We've seen some flaws in his game too, right? With the cardio, Marcel, and he talked about the fixing his nose, and we've seen him, get behind him points against even Trevin Giles. He's getting, hit and then comes back and wins. And then Brad Tavares, it was kind of an odd one where he actually was, had the better cardio. He had his nose just shattered, and the Darren Till fight was a weird one too, Marcel, and the Derek Brunson, like all these fights kind of weird. And then the last couple of fights, Whitaker, Strickland, sorry, I mean those are 3 of the best wins you could have.
Yeah.
Anyways, listen, this is not an easy fight to pick. I think personally, most people are on Dracus. Most people are picking Dracus. I get it. He's a great fighter. I picked him last year. Fight was razor thin. I think this fight's going to be close too, dude. Hit the button for me, Marcel. Hit the button for me. I can't believe it. I'm going to pick Sean Strickland. I'm going to pick him to win decision. And I know it's going to sound crazy, and I get that because, again, I'm switching my pick almost from last year, even though the guy won. I just think Sean's being written off a little bit here. Like these odds, to me, this is like a pick 'em fight again. I don't see what has really changed. I don't think a ton has changed. Dracus, I think, on the feet, I think Strickland's actually the better striker. I mean, I think Dracus has more power, I would say, but Sean's got a good chin. I think Dracus would be smart to take the fight down. Another reason I like Sean, though, is dude, he's got some of the best coaches in the business. Eric Nixick, one of the best. I think they can make the adjustments to get the win here, man. I really do. And it's not like, again, if Dracus was Australian and this was hometown, I'd probably leave him, but he's not. This is like a neutral field fight for these guys. I know I've talked a lot about this fight, but I actually really like this fight. I like the first fight. I like this fight. Taking another for the third. Wait, no, for the second week in a row, I'm taking an underdog in the main event. Took Tumendemberel last week, taking Sean Strickland. Let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah, man, good fight. Looking forward to it. To be really honest, I think we'll be close. But I'm going with Drickus, man.
Fair enough, man.
I think Drickus retains the belt. I like Sean a lot. You know that I'm not a fucking liberal or whatever, what I get called if I don't pick Sean. But
pussy, man.
Yeah, I'm not.
Trade, man.
I like Sean a lot. I think he's a good fighter. I always have to laugh when he says something crazy, but
fucking pussies.
I'm going with Rick because I think he wins. I also bought some biltong to enjoy during the fight. So
did
I
you?
have to
Yeah, you were. So I didn't know what biltong was in the martial. It's like a beef jerky salty or something. Is that what it is?
It's like beef. It's almost beef jerky, but it's a lot thicker, and it's made from actual it's from steak kind of steak thing. It's dried.
Nice thick beef. That's what you love, Marcel.
It's really good, man. Yeah, absolutely. It's really good. You guys should try it if you can get it. But I'm going with Drickus decision probably.
Dude, again, totally fair because I think this fight is. I think it's just close. Like I really do. Do you think it'll be a split decision or unanimous? Like what do you?
It's even possible, dude. I wouldn't be surprised. I think it will be a close fight. These two are pretty evenly matched, I think. So yeah,
I agree. Let me ask you this: if just say Sean wins, would they do a trilogy? Do you think? Or
the problem is they have Khamzat waiting, and they probably want. But it's possible. Listen, if they probably not. Because they probably want to put Khamzat against the winner of this one on the Saudi Arabia or Abu Dhabi card. And they also have Imavov waiting. So probably not. But they can do it
against Imavov, which you mentioned earlier. Yeah. All right, guys, I missed some comments, or I didn't miss them. I was just talking. There you go. I got a Strickland pick here. There you go. I thought DDP won. I was caged, so I thought he won. It was close though. Okay, you got a DDP pick. DDP by finish. Interesting. Rob versus Strickland. Yeah, actually, Whitaker and Strickland. That's crazy that fight hasn't happened. That'd be a good fight. Yeah. Why won't you fall, Jack? Why won't you fall? That was one of my favorite fights. He's like pointing down at him. That was
okay, amazing. Jack. I give you one chance. Come on.
that was incredible. He doesn't really talk that much in his fights anymore, but that was like when he turned Bobby Green in that fight, Marcel. Pick Strickland versus I think Strickland wins. Okay, there you go. Another Strickland pick. It's kind of even in the chat. A lot of people don't like Strickland. Varsity gets overlooked. He's legit. Dana, I completely agree, man. I mean, I know you agree too with that. Like you completely agree with that.
Yeah,
I know.
The thing is, I also listen. A lot of people pick on emotions, like, "Oh, I don't like this guy, so I'm going." No, man, we do.
Of course they do, dude. That's not the right way to pick fights.
No, of course not.
I think Sean can make. I agree with Antoine. I think he can make the adjustments too, but we'll see. Sean's going to run through. Hamza's going to run through Sean who wins. I mean, probably. Let's be honest, but yeah. I picked Sean fight one, not picking DDP. Fair enough. I mean, I'm the opposite, which is crazy. Oh, and Pereira too. I didn't even think about that. He also has Pereira in his corner, which is. I mean, I don't know what that's going to do, but it's interesting. They do have a great. I love that they have a friendship now. Don't you, Marcel? It's so awesome. You talk about everyone's talking about Izzy and Rob, which is great, but I think Pereira and Strickland's even funnier because like you got a guy that doesn't. I don't think he speaks any English at all.
Pereira,
you got a guy that.
Pereira just hopes he's the backup so he can fight and he can duck Micallef. That's all. So I'm just kidding.
I don't think Pereira's going back to 185. I don't think. But
no.
You know what's crazy about Sean too? I was doing the research of this fight. He's won fights at 4 weight classes. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what the 4 are?
What's the 4? 185, 170, probably 155.
No, not 155. Not 195 against Brendan Allen catchweight.
Oh yeah. Okay, it's a catchweight.
Does that count?
Come on.
It was a catchweight fight.
The 205.
Yeah, 205. Imavov. That was
Imavov,
still. It was a light heavyweight fight. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely. That was actually legit.
Again, it sounded. Dude, this whole thing probably sounded like I was glazing Sean Strickland. That's cool. That's all right. It's funny. Anyways, it's gonna be a good fight. Pino and Alex gonna whisper speed up. Is Pino gonna be in his corner too, or is it just Alex? Do you know?
I think Plinio will be in this. Oh, I think Plinio will be there, but probably not in this corner, man.
Fair enough. Pato, we did see the matchup, but it's fake news, man. Right, Marcel?
Yeah, man, that's not true. That's a fake account. You gotta check who you got it from.
you want to really quickly go over fight announcements for like 2 minutes?
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead, man. I have all the time.
You guys, we're gonna give you a bonus 5 minutes here, guys. I'm having a beer. I'm enjoying the chat. It's fun tonight, guys. Good
Clipping
times.
my nails while we had it.
Are you actually?
Yeah, man. I have a annoying nail here.
Hang nail. All right, let's go through a couple fights. There's quite a few. So the thing is, I'll really quickly say this. Someone mentioned this earlier. There's like 2 months of fights or 3 months of fights in a row, Marcel. February, March, and April. It's like there's no break.
In April there's a break. The break is on April 19th. April 19th.
I'm looking forward to that Saturday night to myself.
Yeah, me too.
But it's going to be crazy. So we won't get a ton of chances to like do these fight announcements, like the whole podcast. But I'll talk about a couple of fights here. Excuse me. Jan and Bruna. Marcel actually did this during the podcast somehow. Confirmed it. I mean, it's a good fight, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's.
I know you thought Bruna deserved the title shot, but it's still a good fight.
This is a clear. Listen, if Bruna wins this fight, she fights for the title next, I think. So.
Or Jan, maybe, right?
Yeah, but Jan just lost to Zhang, so
I know that's the thing. But if Suarez wins, ooh,
yeah,
as we predicted. Marina Rodriguez against Julian Robertson. The weird thing is this fight's in. It says TBA, but the rumor is Iowa, right?
Des Moines, yeah, Des Moines, Iowa.
But why is this not in Montreal though?
I don't know. And Jillian even replies under it. If you look at it, somebody said like, why is she always fighting somewhere outside of Canada when there's a Canadian event? You should check for that comment. Someone said Jillian is always, and she replied under it.
So they booked her on this card. She doesn't. Yeah. I mean, what say does she have really? She's
and
she's not an employee, Marcel. She's an independent contractor. But
yeah, plus I mean, Marina's top 10. So it's a step up for her.
Yeah, I mean, she's not going to say anything. It's a good fight. It's a solid fight. I like it, but I think it should have been on the Montreal card. Personally, it's just weird to put a Brazilian and a Canadian in like the middle of America. But yeah, Pahea and Abu. Is this main event or no?
No, I don't think so.
It's a good fight. By the way, you didn't post it, but Muniz and Ikram, are you going to post it or no?
I put the old announcement for Saudi Arabia. I changed that one and I just put it in my story.
Fair enough. That's on that Kansas City card too, guys.
Yeah.
Is Bryce Mitchell going to be on this card?
I don't know.
I mean, I would imagine he'd be on either this or Iowa, but like he shouldn't be in the UFC probably. That's another discussion for another day. Torres Finney getting his debut against Robert Valentin. Yeah, I mean it's a winnable. Oh, you broke this fight. Nice. You broke it. It's a winnable fight for Torres. I know Dana doesn't love this guy, but I think he can do well in the UFC, man.
Yeah, I also think it's winnable. Definitely if he grapples,
which he will.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go. All right. Gunnar Nelson gets Kevin Holland. Yeah, I saw this. So Gunnar hasn't fought in like 2 years. I think he just had another kid. He probably needs some money for diapers. They're expensive, man. And then Holland wants to fight 6 times this year. He makes a lot of money coming Holland. They actually released the salaries. What is he like? $350?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Dude, he's making bank, and like, I like Kevin Holland. I don't want to talk shit about him because I think he's a good fighter that has provided a lot of entertainment. But sometimes I don't think he tries, man. I don't know. Yeah. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, if he, I got the feeling if he feels that it's a real bad challenge and he doesn't get anything, he's like, yeah, whatever. That's the feeling that I get. I don't know if it's true,
I actually think Gunnar Nelson can win this fight. I know it sounds crazy.
If he can get him down 100%, Gunnar is a better ground fighter.
It's at welterweight. By the way, Crazy Cav broke that fight, Marcel.
Yeah, he did. Good for him.
He knows someone with Kevin. Because I think didn't he break his last fight too, Kevin Holland?
He actually posted Holland against Cannonier, but that didn't happen.
Oh, that's right. Now I remember. I remember that now. Yeah. Bryce, I mean, let me ask you a question. Would you have cut him after the comments, those terrible things he said?
Jeez, man, what should I say? The thing is, like, let's put it this way. The UFC cut people for less. Remember they cut Miguel Torres years ago because he says rape fans should be party fans because more people would smile or something. Yep. They told Matt Mitrione to apologize because he said he wanted to beat up Fallon Fox, the transgender fighter.
Yep, I remember.
Dana was disgusted by the comments he said back then. So I mean, there's a lot has changed, in the UFC with and a lot of newer fans don't know this, but there was a lot of more rules back then. I don't know. I mean, would I cut him? I would definitely talk with him. And I don't think it's a good look for the UFC at all by saying like, yeah, we're disgusted by it, but it's free speech. I mean, You put me in a difficult spot here, man. I don't know. You know.
I mean, people are going to have their opinion. I would have cut him personally. I think what he said was just it crossed the line, you know. And he's put out some bullshit apology. It's not even a real apology, in my opinion.
No, obviously not, because there were no typos in it. So
I think his management. I mean, I shouldn't say that for sure, but I mean, I'm sure his manager talked to him. I don't know if they wrote it, but I'm sure they're like, "Hey, dude, you can't say this shit." You know, I get what he's saying with free speech and everything, but the thing is, like, that's like, you know, law, but it doesn't mean you can't get fired from your job. Because if I went on Twitter right now, if I said that, Marcel, I'd get fired right away.
Me too.
Yeah, and so would anyone in this chat. We'd all get fired. So why does this guy get a pass? It's kind of fucked. I think what he said crossed the line, and I think the way to punish it would be match it with Josh Emmett again, right?
Yeah. By the way, Dana Blanco, you're right. He was brought back, and then he was cut again after losing to Michael McDonald, I think.
There you go. So it's slapping the wrist and brought back. I kind of feel like what this guy said was worse, though, to be honest with you, because it affects so many more people, you know? Title limiter, which fight? Abus and Michelle? Or what fights is he talking about? Title limiter?
I hope he's not meaning Holland against Gunnar Nelson, but
tell me what you mean, Antoine. Sorry,
maybe Jan against.
Okay, it must be. Yeah. I don't. Ramadan, right? That's the reason?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys know if they'll ever come back to Atlanta? They should, because the last card was it not Izzy and Gastelum? I think it was, right? And Poirier and Holloway.
You have to. I don't know. Probably, if you say so, it's probably true.
They also did Rashad Evans and John Jones, I think, right? That was in Atlanta too, Antoine. And if I'm not mistaken, was it Rashad Evans and Chuck Liddell? Was that in Atlanta? I'm using my brain here, Marcel. I'm digging deep with this one. I think I'm right though.
Rashad
no cardio, Michelle. No cardio. Abus. That fight's not going 3 rounds. I don't think, right?
No.
Is Kevin young enough to reinvent himself? I don't know. He's very one-dimensional. It's his ground. I mean, he has submissions, but it's just his wrestling is terrible. To be honest, the more I'm thinking about this fight, I think he just gets taken down and just controlled, man.
Let's go to the next fight, man.
Let's do it. I'm just answering the questions, though. I'm answering the questions. Yeah. It's crazy because it was the first episode. Yeah, that's for sure. Said, yeah, they could have, but, you know, they're not doing anything. I agree with that completely, too, by the way. Like, not media trained. I mean, what he said is just, I mean, anyone can, you know not to say that. Let's go to the next fight. We already talked about this one. Dinopolis Talita. So she wasn't answering your DMs, huh, Marcel? Talita?
She did, after it was announced. She did. She apologized even, which I said, no need to apologize.
I know you like her, too. I know that.
Yeah, I like her.
Demopolis, do you think she gets cut if she loses?
I don't think so, man. The thing is, like, Demopolis is no disrespect to her, but she's kind of lucky with the record she has, man. She has a lot of fights. She could have, maybe should have lost, and she's in the positive with the UFC, so 5-3. Talita is much more in trouble, I think, if she loses, you know. So
probably, yeah. Asu taking on Alan Nascimento. That fight is it's official, yeah.
Yeah. It's Nascimento replacing Steve Herzog. Yeah.
Is that fight official? Herzog and Moreno? Is that?
I know for a fact it's going to happen, but I don't have confirmation from both sides. That's why I haven't posted it yet. I only have one side.
I haven't seen all your posts, so I thought it was next, maybe. Loma against Carnellosi. I know you're tight with Ariani, right? I think you used to be.
I like both a lot. You know, both are really, really nice.
I think Loma's funny better, though, to be honest with you.
A lot of people don't know that Loma Lukbunmi is not on the real name. That's
yeah, I know. I know. Yeah, it's one of those Thailand names, right?
Yeah, Konklak Sapisara.
You broke this one, didn't you? Oh, that was.
No.
I know you confirmed it though. Yeah, I mean, I like Diana. I know, and you're big. It's actually Diani versus Diana. It's funny. Diana's didn't her boyfriend? Did he win? Cameron Van Camp, or did he get knocked out?
I don't know if he won. I don't know.
I can check, but yeah.
By the way, I'd also like both girls a lot. You know, I mean, Diana hasn't looked as of great. She got I think almost arm broken or whatever, dislocated against Mali. But I always liked her. Same for Dione, man. I think Dione is a fun fighter. She got that win against Kurt Skata, which you thought that Kurt Skata won. You know,
I remember that.
And she lost to Maverick. So yeah.
Julian Lane knocked out Cameron Van Camp, her boyfriend.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah, former. Let me bang, bro. Remember that guy? Let me bang, bro. That was amazing. One of the best tough moments ever. So Julia Plessis fighting Lupi Godinez just for notice.
Massive opportunity for Polastri, man. Polastri was supposed to fight Jasmine Horegi, you know.
It's not really deserved either, I don't think.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, she's 1-on-1. She looked good against Corey McKenna, which was a decent win, and she lost to the girl to Knudsen, in her debut, and Knudsen actually got cut, or she asked for release. I don't know.
Yeah.
She's not
I
in
think
the
she
UFC
asked for.
anymore.
I think that's what happened.
Yeah,
Still
but
kind of weird. I would
yeah.
say this, like, it was odd that they didn't have Loopy on the card anyways. Like, I think she should have been in this card even before the switch up,
for
right?
sure. Yeah,
that's so weird that they're going to go Mexico and she wasn't originally.
Maybe they planned her for another fight and that fell through as well, but it wasn't out yet. I don't know.
Very possible. Su Young Yu versus AJ Cunningham. I would pick against AJ Cunningham like any fight probably. Is he Bryce Mitchell's friend? Are they friends?
I think it's his nephew.
His cousin or something?
Yeah, cousin. That's what I mean. His cousin. Yeah.
Yeah. They're all related. They're in was it Arkansas, Alabama? Or
those are your words.
I think it's Arkansas. I think
it's Arkansas. Yeah.
Jim Miller, Chase Hooper. Yeah. I mean, this fight makes sense. Someone actually asked, I think, Chase after his last fight. They were like, "Do you want to fight Jim Miller?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll fight him." It's a good fight. I love this fight, actually. Do you like
Jim
it?
could be his dad. Yeah, it's a good fight.
Jim could be his dad. Jim is
if he was 16.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but yeah, it's a good fight, man.
I mean, why not? There are a lot of 15-year-old people who got children. So never know.
Bobby Green and I keep saying Bobby. It's King Green now. Mauricio Hoofy, the fighting nerds. I mean, I think Hoofy will be favored in this fight.
I think so too. He got a lot of hype behind his name, but I think the hype is a little bit down after his last performance against Sean Top, but still, he looked pretty good.
Finished in that fight, that's for sure. It was a good fight though. Billy Ray Goff against Adam Fugit, and he actually announced the fight himself, right? There was like a switch up or something.
Yeah, he announced it on the Five Bananas podcast. It was a switch up. I think Dulatov got injured, and also who's the other guy? Vartanikov pulled out. I don't know why, and they matched this up. And actually, Goff asked to fight in the Apex, but they wanted to have him on the Seattle card. So
first guy in UFC history asked to fight in the Apex, right?
Yeah.
There you go. We talked about that last week, so there we go. We're gonna cut that. Let me get a few more comments, guys, and then we'll get out of here. We went way past the time, but I'm having fun talking tonight. So.
Yeah, I mean, Antoine, it's no problem as long as the intercourse has been with a minor as well, like 15 with 15. It's okay, But
there you go. I mean, I don't think you should be having kids at that age, but I mean,
I agree.
I'm not judging your dad, man, Antoine, at all, and especially that it's a different time in life. But
things happen, man.
You should be more like established, I would think. That's all I'm going to say. But again, I'm not judging other people because it happens. Ursay's going to fight Moreno, but it's not official yet. Bryce next fight on media, but I mean, maybe you should fight Natan Levy. Maybe you should just do that fight something. Should they do that?
That Bryce winning and everybody's still upset. I don't know, man. That's
maybe not. I heard. I think you told me that before, Antoine. You were like really into her, man. There you go. Should ask her out, dude. Any fight you can tell us, Marcel? I don't think you can. Can you?
No. I'm sorry. If I can, I will. But the problem is always when I get fights, I can announce. It's like on fucking Monday or on Tuesday or on Wednesday
right after the podcast
is over. Yeah,
I know. After you got bold, kind of. But I mean, Alan Nascimento is okay. PFL? You know anything in PFL?
No. And
we should probably talk with GFL instead.
Also, look at from the UFC side, man. They have Moreno in the main event in Mexico. I mean, they can put Almabayev there, but at the same time, Almabayev doesn't have the name for a lot of people. And Erceg was in a title fight. I know.
I'm okay with that fight. I mean, even though Erceg got knocked out by
Cara France.
Yeah, he's getting the title shot. By the way, really quickly, I was thinking this. I was pretty like they should give France the title shot last year, and they gave it to Asakura.
Yeah.
Especially now that they're giving it to him. I think they fucked up here because they should have brought in Asakura and let him get a fight and get some hype and get accustomed to 125 first and get a win in the UFC and fight in a cage. Instead, they rushed the title shot. That's my opinion. So
no, they just wanted to have a Japanese champion, which they are trying for years already, but they haven't been succeeded so far.
No. Julian Lane, yes, he knocked out Cameron Camp. Big Boy versus Span and Waldo. Is that happening?
That's
he's saying Biggie Boy. Sorry, my apologies. I read it wrong. I thought Span fighting Waldo. Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry, I'm getting a little tired now at Pato. My bad. I read it wrong. Yeah, I guess. I mean,
it's possible,
Ryan Span's a guy I haven't even thought about because he's moving to heavyweight. I guess the Jared Gordon. Yeah, I think he did say that, but he's he wants money, dude. He's like a Kevin Holland. They just want money, bro. Why do you think Hooper doesn't get the same hate as Patty? He's still young. I mean, he's still really young. You know, and Paddy was like a champion in Cage Warriors and stuff before, right? So
Yeah, and Hooper doesn't talk so much, you know.
and Hooper doesn't talk shit like Paddy. He doesn't go after Marcel on Twitter like Paddy did. Remember that?
Yeah, of course I remember that, dude.
All his like fans were going after you, calling you an asshole and all this shit.
Yeah, a bunch of idiots. Fuck them.
Not sure if you guys talked about it. Oh yeah, we didn't talk about this. Really quickly on the tough thing, DC and Chael. I don't mind it. I'm glad they're not fighting. I think did they actually get asked to fight? Was that true?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. They should fight in GFL. That makes more sense. I like it though because I'll be honest with you, like I don't like when they do the like really good fighters on tough. Marcel, they never fight and they sit out for like a year. So it's better to have retired guys. They can learn a lot from them, I think.
I know a lot of people I talked to are really hyped about it, but the thing is, like, I'm not really a big fan of DC's humor, and I'm also not really a big fan of Chael's humor. So, I mean, for me, it's like, I don't give a shit. But if people are happy with it, that's okay, you know? I just hope
I think it's okay, though, honestly. I'd rather see this than, like, just say, I don't know, who, like, think of two guys. Like, I'd rather see that than Merab and, like, Peter Yan. By the way, Peter Yan is going against Aljamain Sterling on the Russian version.
I saw that, yeah.
You see that Oscar thing? That was pretty
funny.
Right?
That was funny, yeah.
Jalen Turner fight is happening at 3:13, but they haven't announced.
So the thing is, like, there's something with contracts right now, so that's why that's not out. But
it'll
just
happen
wait.
soon. He's getting a good fight, though. I can't say it. He's getting a good fight. Not a ranked guy. I'll say that, Marcel. It's not a ranked guy. I'll say that.
Yeah.
You guys think Kaya Sakura fights? That's a good question. Any thoughts?
I have no idea, dude, but there's a lot of options. I mean, he only fought Pantoja so, at the UFC, I'd say, right? So
anyone who's coming off a loss, really, they want to build him back up. Probably someone ranked at the bottom end of the division.
They might give him, if Royval doesn't get past Cap, maybe you give him Royval.
Bring back Matt Schnell so he can knock him out. Oh, is it official? De'Aaron Fox? Is it official? Holy shit. We got a big trade here in the NBA. Marcel, you know I love this shit, man.
Yeah.
Give me a second. This has been rumored for a while. I'm going to talk about it in my full-time job tomorrow. We got a breaking news. We got a trade. Oh shit, dude! This happens during the podcast. We have a 3-team trade. De'Aaron Fox going to San Antonio Spurs, Zach LaVine going to Sacramento, and Kevin Huerter, Zach Collins, and Trey Jones and Jordan McLaughlin going to San Antonio. Going to the Bulls and McLaughlin to San Antonio. Wow, and some draft picks too. Yo, that's crazy, man. This keeps happening during, like, oh, man. What do you think, Antoine? What do you think, Ben? So, again, you know, we're at the end. Marcel, let me talk about this for a few minutes. We're at the end of the podcast, right? It's okay?
Go ahead. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I know. Okay, so I watch a lot of basketball, especially in the nighttime games because, you know, I'm done work, and some of these games start at 10 o'clock because they're California teams. I love De'Aaron Fox. He's one of my favorite players, dude. He's a baller. He's been rumored to want out for a while. And then Zach LaVine's a really good player, too, for the Chicago Bulls, which Michael Jordan used to play for, Antoine, or Marcel. Obviously, you know them.
Yeah.
And then the other guys are all kind of, like, not great players. But, wow, that's crazy. Chicago also gets a top 10 pick. San Antonio sends out 3 first-rounders to Kings. Okay, that makes sense. Spurs get De'Aaron Fox and Jordan McLaughlin. Kings get Zach LaVine, CD Kiosco, 3 first-round picks and 3 second-round picks. And Bulls get Zach Collins, Trey Jones, Kevin Huerter, and first-round pick. Wow, interesting. Well, I mean, as soon as this is over, I'm going to listen to what these guys have to say. That's crazy. Marcel is definitely like, what the fuck is going on? But to be fair, Marcel, if you were talking about soccer with Ajax and like, holy shit, this guy, I'd be like, who the fuck are you talking about? That's what I would say. So I got to go and read about it, guys. But yeah, that's crazy, dude. I mean, they're going to be good for a while now, man. They got Victor. Do you know Victor Wembanyama? Do you know him?
Yeah, I know his name. I've seen him before.
So he's 7'4".
Yeah,
and he's 20 years old, and he's going to be the face of the league for 20 more years, probably. It's great, Marcel. 7'4".
Yeah.
Maybe you'll have a son one day 7 feet tall, man. Your dad's tall, right? Or he's short. He's short.
Shorter than me. My parents are both shorter than me.
You're tall as fuck, though.
Yeah, tall and fat, so yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I know how you feel. Yeah, I know he is. All right, let's end the podcast, guys. We're way over time. I want to thank Marcel, though, because what time is it there? 3 o'clock?
3:23, yeah.
Holy shit, dude. We appreciate you, and we thank you for your time, man.
Yeah, you're welcome. You now sound like you have interviewed the president or something. Thank you for your time.
It's 3 a.m. in Netherlands, man. That's where it is. 3:30. So we appreciate you, man.
No
Thanks,
problem.
Pato. Okay, let's end the podcast, guys. Like, share, subscribe, tell your friends about the podcast. Man, we appreciate you guys a lot. Just last question, very last question. What's 3 a.m. in Netherlands like?
It's dark outside. What you want me to say, man, Antoine? I mean, it's dark outside, and it's kind of quiet right now. I always like it.
You usually stay up late, though. To be fair,
I normally go to sleep like 6 a.m. or something.
What time do you get up at, Marcel?
Around 12.
And then you have a nap later, or
sometimes it depends. Listen, if I normally around 12, I'm starting my work.
Fair
and
enough.
if I'm tired, maybe I'm going to lay for an hour. Or if there's sometimes I put just my TV on and I'm just going to lay down and then I fall asleep maybe for 30 minutes, 45, and that's okay.
Marcel's got Super Bowl in his bed, guys. He's got to get going. All right, guys. We'll talk to you later. Back next Monday. Next Monday, guys. We'll do the podcast. Peace.